Welcome everyone to the Linda B Show. Thank you all for joining me tonight on this live stream. I have a special guest. She is Marjorie with Purpose, and she has her own show. And we are going to be discussing the last days. All right, the last days. We've got a lot to unpack. There's so much going on, including a digital tattoo. Could this actually be the mark of the beast? That's what we'll be talking about today on the Linda B Show. All right, I am back. I am your girl, Linda B, on the Linda B Show. Welcome. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Make sure you select all notifications. Stick around to the end. Let's go. All right, we're talking about the last days, guys. And the last days has been the talk. No one knows when the day is, so don't listen to people who are out here talking about they know exactly when the day is that the end of the world is going to be. The Bible clearly says that no one knows the day nor the hour, not even the Son. So if Jesus doesn't know, what makes us think we're going to know? It is only going to be God the Father. But I want to bring in a special guest. Her name is Marjorie, Dr. Marjorie. She has her own show, Marjorie with Purpose. Check her out on YouTube. And I'm going to welcome her to the show. Hey, Marjorie.
Hey, Linda. Thanks for having me on today.
You are so welcome. So glad that you were able to join at the last minute.
Oh, yeah.
But we got to talk about, I know we did a show a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about the last days, and we were talking about the rapture. We were more so talking about the rapture. But I wanted to talk about this whole mark thing, because I've gotten some information, and we're going to look at this video, me and you together, and it's from the People's Voice, I believe, and it's talking about this digital tattoo that Bill Gates has, and you'd be very interested to know what the patent number is on his cryptocurrency patent. You'll know what I mean when what I'm talking about when I show it to you. But yeah, so have you heard about this digital tattoo?
No.
It's really, they're marketing it as an easy way to authenticate. Like, you don't need a lock, you don't need a passcode, you don't need the number to your garage or anything like that to get in. Everything is in your body to authenticate. It's got to go in your body, up under your skin, and it's digital. And then they go even further in another video that I saw. I think it's part of this one I'm going to show you, where you take this pill every day that just like a battery, like regenerates. I'm like, that is just like, that's, to me, that's doing too much.
I've heard about chips.
That is
things.
Doing. I've been hearing about it for the past 20 something years. I've been hearing about it. And then it came across that Bill Gates literally has a digital tattoo that is supposed to replace it's actually supposed to replace your smartphone. So
wow, okay.
That is wild. That is wild. I'm going to let you take a look, and we're going to look at this together. I'm going to pull this up. This is crazy.
While everybody is looking the other way, Bill Gates is working feverishly behind the scenes to kill off smartphones and replace them with a new technology, electronic tattoos embedded under your skin. According to Gates, life as you know it will soon be impossible without one. Digital IDs fused with your body, a modern mark of the beast, controlling access to everything, work, travel, and money. We've been warning about the elites' beast system for years, and now it's coming to life. The question is, will you resist or be forced to comply? Before we dive in, a quick word about our partner, VP.net, the next generation of private browsing. VP.net is the only VPN designed with up. PV, together with you, our audience, we've been sounding the alarm for years. We've stood shoulder to shoulder, exposing Bill Gates' relentless drive to force digital IDs under our skin. They mocked us, tried to silence us, but we never backed down. We've taken the brickbats, endured the ridicule, faced the blowback, for daring to expose a conspiracy hiding in plain sight. But now, finally, the masses are starting to wake up.
Did you know that Bill Gates recently said that if you don't have the digital ID by 2028, you will be isolated from society? That's... What?
For over a decade, smartphones have been our constant companion, our link to email, social media, maps, banking, and everything. They've shaped how we live, work, and interact. But according to Bill Gates, that era is about to end, and not by accident. Gates is determined to kill off the smartphone and replace it with something far more invasive: electronic tattoos. Technology designed to merge with your body. Developed by Chaotic Moon and later snapped up by Accenture, these tattoos promise instant communication, internet access, and health monitoring without a single screen. But here is where it gets dark. They're not in your pocket. They're under your skin, a permanent addition to your body's ecosystem. Always on, always connected, always watching. The elites are selling it as sleek, subtle, and more convenient and intuitive than anything we've seen before. Tiny nanocapacitors power the system. No bulky batteries, no visible device. Just an invisible tether fusing your body to the grid. Once this tech becomes your digital ID, there will be no logging out, no turning it off, and no opting out. This isn't convenience. This is control. The next.
All right. There's a little taste of that. Okay. What are your thoughts, Marjorie?
Oh my gosh. So since the last time we talked, I hadn't studied Revelation a whole lot, but that's what it makes me think about, where it talks about the mark of the beast, and that you will have limited, there will be famines, you will have limited access to money and food. Revelation talks about it. It's exactly what it's saying. So that sounds right on point.
I just wonder how they're going to end up marketing this to people, that will make them be less likely to catch on to what it is. You know what I mean? Like, is this going to be, I don't know. I just don't know how they're going to end up marketing it, because some people might be tricked into getting it. You know what I'm saying? But they might be tricked into, oh, this is going to monitor my health, because they said that too. It's going to monitor your health, what's going on with your blood pressure, glucose, everything, everything that's going on in your body. It'll be marketed. They already sell these rings and watches that you can wear that monitor your blood pressure and your heart rate and your oxygen. And I think they're probably going to monitor or sell it to people that way. People are going to be like, oh, but then the part where it gets creepy is like, well, it's got to go in me.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me,
yeah,
I don't care. I'll just keep the other way. I'll just use the old school blood pressure machine and wrap around your arm.
Yeah. That makes me think about too. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, I wouldn't need that. Yeah, go ahead.
It makes me think about too, how they got COVID. The COVID vaccine was like an introduction to see how comfortable people are to people. You know what I mean? They got them. They got people giving out vaccines on the side of the road. So I think that's if they wanted to see how simple-minded people are using that, I think, as a grooming system. Let's see how easily we can get people to come get vaccinated, offering them McDonald's and things. That crazy how they got people to just get. So I'm like, if they can get people to let them vaccinate them so easily, something like a chip, I could totally see them passing.
Wow. Because that's going in your body too. And then they got people to believe that they needed to get it more than once a year or more than one time. They needed to get additional doses. And that is what they were saying. And then you remember during COVID, they were like not allowed, especially in places like New York, very liberal areas, people were not even allowed to go into the grocery store unless they showed their vaccination card where they had been vaccinated. Me personally, when they were talking about it, I said, oh my gosh,
my Lord,
they're going to try to make people get it. I said, they're going to make people get it. I did not get it. I wasn't going to. I was working from home too, so it was less pressure on me, just somebody who's working in the health industry, and they're like, yeah, I got to get her. And you tell somebody you got to do this or you lose your job. And to me, I looked at it just the way you did. I looked at it like, oh my goodness, this is like, it's not the mark of the beast, but it's treated like the mark of the beast. Lord. You know what I mean? It's treated like it. It is like, yeah, because they were saying you can't get a job, or they were making it about your job. You got to do it to keep your job. And one of my subscribers, her husband is suffering from heart issues or something. I think it's his heart. And he had to get it to keep his job. And see, they're going to put you in such a duress, but you got to have your work, right? You got to have your job, right? So that's the thing. That's just messed up. And that's what I see about it. That's what I think about
willies. That's crazy. It really do. Give me the willies, man, thinking about that. I saw an interview with, I don't know if you ever heard of the rap group 3 6 Mafia back in the day. Have you heard of them?
Okay. Maybe.
Yeah. I didn't listen to them all like that, but they were a pretty big rap group back in the day, 3 6 Mafia. And I saw, my daughter sent me an interview with one of the guys of the group where he talked about that the industry, and they were fully aware they were being used. The name of their group, 36666 Mafia.
Yes, 3-6. Yeah.
3-6, which I didn't think about it because I know some of these rappers use the numbers to like their area codes and stuff. So that was my thought. But he very openly said that was the meaning of it. And he was that the devil was using him in the industry to get black folks comfortable with 666. So he talks about their rap music absolutely being a hypnosis style music to get black folks particularly comfortable with 366, because he said the industry know black folks ain't listening to rock music because they think that's demonic.
Oh, whatever. Absolutely.
Right. So he put it, so the industry have a lot of these rappers putting this demonic music in a way that makes black folks comfortable with the demonic.
Oh, yeah. And I think it's and I definitely heard it in rock music because I was one of those people that listened to all kinds of music. But there was this group back in the day. I don't know if you ever heard of the Marilyn Manson. It was like this crazy looking man. Remember, he looked crazy. I said, I don't like you. You look like the devil.
I remember him.
And I just think the devil has been using music for a long time. And now it's in movies. I say Hollywood is Hollyweird. They do all that kind of stuff in there. But I thought about this digital chip and I said, man, you have got to be kidding me. And that woman said he wants if you don't get it by 2028, we are already in 2025.
Lord, they trying to weed us out. It's coming.
I'm like, what? And we got to go over some scripture, honey.
Yes, let's go.
Because I am just like, this is crazy on top of crazy. And I just want everyone who's listening to be aware that when you listen to this video, that we got to be ready for whenever God comes. I know we talked about the rapture last time, a couple of weeks ago. And the way I read the Bible, and we went over the scriptures, that the believers will still be here. I know people say, no, that's not true, but they don't have not one scripture. And then somebody gives me a scripture that literally proves my point. I mean, not, that what I was saying.
Yeah.
And he says, see, 1 Thessalonians 4:17 says that the rapture is going to be. I said, yeah, when Jesus comes back. Jesus comes back around the same time of the rapture. So that's after the tribulation. It's after. And it's not worth getting into some theological debate with people about, whenever it is, we just got to make sure that we're ready. We're ready no matter how it go down, no matter how it play out. But it's probably best we get accustomed to the not so easy way that we might still be here. Now, I told you a couple of weeks ago, I would love it if we were raptured up out of here. I would love it. I just don't think that's the case. I'm like, have mercy. Yeah, but I'm going to share this scriptures with you. And this is coming out of the book of Revelation. Out of the book of Revelation. And this is chapter 13, and it's verses 5 through 8. Okay. And it says, then the beast was allowed to speak great blasphemies against God. This is the Antichrist. And he was given authority to do whatever he wanted for 42 months. 42 months is like, 3.5 years. Right. And he spoke terrible words of blasphemy against God, slandering his name and his dwelling, that is, those who dwell in heaven. And the beast was allowed to wage war against God's holy people and to conquer them. Now, see, look at verse 7. And the beast was allowed to wage war against God's holy people and to conquer them. And he was given authority to rule over every tribe and people and language and nation. And all the people who belong to this world worshiped the beast. They are the one whose names are not written in the book of life that belongs to the Lamb and who was slaughtered before the world was made. So that says again that this beast was allowed to wage war against God's folks.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't say that we wouldn't be here. And, I wish it did.
I know. It's like, that's what the Lord been having me think. We got to be ready to die. You got to be ready.
No, exactly. You got to be ready. No matter how it go down. If they want to chop you, decapitate, or whatever, you got to be ready to go down.
Be ready to
be ready to go down. Exactly.
Matthew 24 was saying you will be held, you will be turned over to them, and you will be persecuted.
Mm-hmm.
You will be. It don't say you might be. It don't say maybe. It says you will be.
It just said you will be persecuted.
Mm-hmm.
See, I pay attention to those little things like will be, not maybe. You got to pay attention to every little thing. You're like, wait a minute, now that don't say some will be.
Right.
I don't get like a special treatment, Lord.
No. I mean, we better appreciate the special treatment we getting right now.
I know, right? I'm just being silly.
Because the closer we get to it, it's like we see it in other countries. Christians being.
We do. That's why I think there are people in Nigeria that were burned to death, burned alive.
Yes.
So I can't think of any worse way to go than that way. I'd rather be decapitated.
Yes, amen.
In that quick.
Yeah.
Dang.
You let me choose. Yeah.
Can I choose?
Yes.
Because that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That is horrible. And if they can't escape being burned alive, what makes us think over in America we don't get when they got it? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That don't make sense. Mm-hmm. And you got believers over there in other parts of the world. We're not the only Christians. They're in other parts of the world. Now, in verse 16, I'm still in Revelation chapter 13, down verse 16 through 18. Mm-hmm. Now, it talks about two beasts. One came out of the sea, which is like the Antichrist, and one came out of the earth, which is like the false prophet. There's going to be the Antichrist and the false prophet. And then it says, the false prophet, I believe, required everyone, small and great, poor and free and slave, to be given a mark on the right hand or on the forehead. It was the Antichrist, requiring that everybody get a mark on the right hand or on the forehead. And no one could buy or sell anything without that mark, which was either the name of the beast or the number representing his name. Wisdom is needed here. Let the one with understanding solve the meaning of the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. And I'm just like, that sounds very scary. When I read this, I was 15 years old reading the book of Revelation. I didn't even know what I was reading. It's got a lot of symbolism in it. I don't know. I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what this. All I know is I got scared and I put the book down.
Yeah, I had to read Revelation again too, with where it's talking about the 144,000.
Yes.
In my young mind, I thought, oh wow, so only 144,000 of us are going to heaven was my thought. But now reading it again, it's specifically saying people who remained virgins and weren't defiled by women. So, and didn't let a lie leave their lips. So pretty much those almost perfect. So so that makes more sense why there's only 144,000 in history.
Yeah, because if you think about, there's like 7 billion people on Earth right now, and there have been many people that have lived way, since history began. So that if only 144,000 make it, that is like.
Yeah,
that's really sad. That's really bad. That's it.
Right. So, but now that makes sense reading it again. But I was reading in Daniel. I read one of the connecting scriptures to Matthew, Daniel chapter 11, verse 31. It says, with flattery, he will corrupt those who have violated the covenant, but the people who know their God will firmly resist him. With flattery, he will corrupt those who have violated the covenant. The enemy, as we know that.
Yes.
Who is the corruption. But yeah, so that's what they doing.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like people that are not really rooted and grounded in the word. We got so many apostate churches that are out here right now. They're actually bringing in, see this, I don't want to get into this thing I'm about to get into, but I'm going to have to do a video about how the devil got into these churches, and specifically I focus on the Black church, but it's been done in all churches where this woke ideology creeps in. And now you've got, alphabet people being married in the church.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's not, how did we get here? How did this begin here in America? Where did it start? And some would say the civil rights movement, progressivism.
Yeah, that's what my mother-in-law
said. Your mother-in-law says that? MLK. Because a lot of people in the civil rights movement were communists, and they were involved in a lot of nefarious activity. A lot. I mean, that's how they could get the Black folks, because we were very religious at one point.
Sure.
If you go back before civil rights, Black people always went to church. We were dressed to the nines, the whole family.
Yeah.
And then after that, our culture started dying.
Yeah.
We were better off, in my opinion, when you talk about family unit, and the children being obedient to authority. We were better off back then.
Yeah, I was just hearing somebody saying
some people would disagree with me. Some people would disagree with me, but they might be looking at money. I'm looking at family unit, like respect for authority, God fearing, depending on God, not government. That is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was just hearing somebody talk about that how the Black community was better off when coming out of slavery, because they knew God brought them out. They didn't question it. They knew who God was. They knew God brought them out. And for whatever reason, they started to turn away from that and turn, like you said, turn toward the government, turn toward every other kind of ideology. But they knew Blacks coming out of slavery knew Jesus Christ set them free.
Absolutely. And I wanted to show you something else. Now, this is another creepy thing. Oh, my goodness.
We're in
all right, so
time.
Looking at this, if you looking at my screen, this is Bill Gates. Supposedly, this is Bill Gates's patent to cryptocurrency. If you look up at the top right, look at these last few numbers, 060606.
I see it.
Okay. That is crazy. That is a patent, and allegedly that is his patent. I don't see anything with it says Microsoft Technology at the bottom. Okay, it does say Microsoft Technology at the bottom. So that's just a lot with that. And I just know that the world is getting just more evil and more evil. And it seems like people are making excuses for doing things that are wrong. And they come down on people that try to do right. And, you got this digital tattoo. And I'm just like, a digital tattoo. Can you even imagine that you would have to get that in your body?
Lord. We already paranoid with the phones. You know what I mean? Like the phone's listening. You have a conversation and all of a sudden you see ads based on a conversation you had. So we know they're already listening. So I know folks paranoid. I do insurance, and I have insurance customers that are so paranoid they refuse to get a cell phone. They refuse to get a smartphone.
Wow.
They refuse
just a regular cell phone. They got the old school flip.
Yes.
They got the Nokia.
Yes, because they are so paranoid that we're being watched and listened to. So never mind them inserting something into your bloodstream.
Yeah, that's crazy. Maybe you could turn the phone off and leave it in another room.
Maybe. They do have bags. We in the group we talked about that with Van. One of the somebody in the group was telling us that they have bags that you could put the phone in that cut off any, being able to trace or listen through the phone. And I bought some because I'm totally paranoid about that.
Well, how you know they work?
Right, we don't, but
that's what I'm saying. Turn the phone off and leave it in another room. Right. Just do it like that. Okay. Really, and when your phone is around, make sure it's something you don't mind anybody hearing.
Right.
I'm just saying, because the world is getting to that point. We got political stuff going on where the National Guard is going into cities. I guess Chicago, I guess the National Guard is in Chicago right now.
Nice.
And they like need it and all of this stuff. One side fussing saying, you trying to overreach, you trying to pick on Black people. And other folks saying, nah, we need it.
Yeah, we need it.
Because it's people being, I'm going to say unalived.
Yeah.
Okay. Unalived. But, so we see that we are getting closer to the end times. And I was reading in the book of Revelation about the things happening in the sky and the water being bitter, wars, sores coming up on people's bodies. And in my mind, I can't imagine, well, the sores are going to be on the body of people that didn't repent. Right. Believers don't have to worry about the sores.
Right.
But it's just like, I can't imagine. And it talks about darkness. I'm like, that is so crazy. Now, the digital thing, the mark of the beast, I can see because we already see people talking about putting things under your skin. But the other stuff, I'm like, I don't know how that is gonna. I can't make it make sense. You know what I mean? We're not supposed to know everything, but I know that everything that is godly is looked down upon in the media. Anything in the media, if the media says it's good, you probably just don't need to do that. Don't believe that. Do a 180 on that. Go the opposite way. That's my line of thinking. Not listening to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they seem to go anti-Christ to me. To me, this way I understand it. But how do you think people will respond to this digital tattoo? You think that some people are going to be tricked?
I think a lot of people have turned so far away from God that they are going to be completely in agreement with it. I don't think they're going to have to fight people for it. A lot of maybe the old school folks. Now that I think it's going to be just how it was with the vaccines. The same people that they couldn't get a vaccine is going, or the same people that got the vaccine is going to be the same people that run to get this chip. That's what I think. Because they fear for their lives, their careers. But those of us who like, oh no, I know my God got my back. I'm standing for the Lord. I ain't worried about nothing. I think those same people, I think it's going to be the same script with that. And that's what I see. Because
you might be right. I'm sure there's going to be some people who wake up, get saved in the meantime, or take their relationship with God seriously. I think they're going to really take their relationship with God very seriously and, might wake up. You know what I'm saying? And Marjorie, you are frozen. Marjorie, where are you? Well, I am talking. Marjorie is not talking, but I'm going to just keep on talking. Hopefully she'll come back. But the mark of the beast is what we're talking about. There's this digital tattoo that Bill Gates, who is the founder of Microsoft, has invented, and it goes up under your skin. It is supposed to authenticate everywhere you go. You're not supposed to need a key. It's supposed to replace a cell phone and all of that. Any kind of authentication, you just won't need to have a key or anything like that, or put in a code, and it's supposed to replace a cell phone. And it's also allegedly supposed to check your body, your biology, like your heart rate, your blood pressure, and other things like that, to check and see how you're doing. And I personally believe that people are going to be tricked to get it, just like they were getting other things. Okay. We got to be careful. We got to be careful. Those of you who are listening, it is something that is very serious. I do believe that the jab, the C-19 was a test. And if the people stay the same, because I know people can get more serious with God and realize they made a mistake with the C19, but with the next thing like this digital tattoo, I'm not sure. I'm not saying it's the mark of the beast. That's why I have a question mark on my thumbnail. I'm not saying that. But it sure does seem like it, doesn't it? And then with his patent for the cryptocurrency, which is his cryptocurrency, not necessarily the patent for the digital tattoo, it has 060606. Wow. That's something that we all need to be thinking about. Was the C19, was that a test run? I don't know. It was treated the same. It was treated the exact same way, that if you don't do this, you will lose your job. You cannot come into this grocery store unless you show me your proof that you got the vaccine. Nobody in my house got this. Nobody got it. Nobody got it. All right, Marjorie, are you back?
Yeah, my internet. I knew I should have left my hotspot on, but
Marjorie.
Can you hear me?
All right, so she is. There she is.
Can you see me?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. My internet.
Yeah, I was just talking. I said,
yeah.
You froze for a good long while. I was like, where you go? But yeah, I was talking about the vaccine and everything. Nobody in my house got it. And I was telling people who might eventually watch this video that we have to be very cautious and prayerful. And some people might, the same people that did get the jab, I'm going to call it the jab now, and they got it that time. But now with this particular digital tattoo, maybe they're going to be closer to God and not get that. People might switch positions. They might not stay the same. They might fall back from God. Some might come to God. And so it might be different. But if things were to stay the same and everybody stayed the same in their exact position with God that they did when the jab first came out and this other thing comes out, I do think, like you think, that the ones who got the jab are going to be the same ones that get the digital tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
Because if their positions don't change, if they don't, get closer to the Lord, or if they don't fall back from the Lord. So that's what, I mean, it surely seemed like that when it was going on. I said, they serious. They saying you can't do this. You can't travel. You can't buy. And it said, no, you can't go to the grocery store. I was like, that's crazy. That is crazy. So my advice is people just be right. Just be ready. Just give your lives to the Lord. Be ready, be ready, be ready. Playing around. Be ready because, and some people believe that the Antichrist is not going to be in the form of a man. They believe it'll be in a system. They believe that it could, there's some people believe it could be the Pope. I'm thinking it's going to be some kind of political figure.
I can see that.
I don't know.
I think it's going to be a transgender.
Yeah,
it's going to be a transgender.
Oh, wow. I was thinking it would be a gay man. I really was. But it might be.
It's going to be somebody from the alphabet community.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's going to be opposite of everything that Jesus is. Yes. What Jesus is. It's going to be the opposite. Yeah, so somebody arrogant, not humble. Well, like you say, alphabet community. I personally think the Antichrist is going to be a Muslim. I think it'll be one of the imams.
Yeah, I remember you said that. Oh, yeah. I heard somebody else say that too. Yeah,
I do. The reason I say that is because if you look politically at what's going on right now, a lot of Muslims are allowed to run for government in this country, whether it's the mayor, whether, different mayors across and then they're in Congress and they're wanting Sharia law or Sharia, however you're supposed to pronounce it. And they got their call to prayer going out in certain cities.
Yeah.
So, and if you look at that, certain countries, I know Syria, Lebanon, and other countries, that Egypt as well, were at one time predominantly Christian, overwhelmingly, but now they're Muslim. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. And it's the fastest growing religion, I think. So it just seems like it to me, especially with what's going on in America. America, you know what they did to the UK, to Europe. It's infiltrated over there really, really bad.
Lord have mercy. Well, bring it on, Jesus. Bring it on. You gotta be ready to stand. It's like you gotta be ready to stand.
Be praying. We better be praying and watching what we listen to and what we partake as far as entertainment.
Yeah.
We got to listen to what, pay attention to that. So them evil things, because that's why they put that stuff, certain lifestyles out into, the forefront in modern day movies and TV shows. I noticed some years back, it's like they show pushing this, aren't they?
They started. Yeah. I feel like they started in the early 90s. I think it was kind of gradual, late 80s, early 90s. They started the grooming process around then, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. Because I remember that movie Basic Instinct. I was like, okay, that was the early 90s. Yeah, that one right there. and then TV shows but it wasn't like as overt as it is now in the TV shows. Now it is. It's just like boom.
Yeah, now it's in children's programs.
Go. And now it's in children's programs. You are so correct. And the books in schools and the drag queens and so anybody that's watching this video, you guys, just be ready. Be ready no matter where we go before. Yes, we gotta be discipling you. And I choose to do it this way. And I disciple to people, over the phone, in person. And I'm like, God, just give me the strength to do it.
Yeah.
Because people got a spirit of people who are not saved, but who want to believe that they are. They're probably the most difficult ones to witness to.
You ain't right.
I'm just saying, because they get an attitude like, of course I'm saved. Get an attitude. People who know they're not living right. Yeah, I ain't living right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might be easier to deal with than somebody who's fooled themselves. Who's been deceived.
Church folks.
But a lot of church folks, absolutely, a lot of church folks. What would you say to somebody who is trying to decide if they want their job or get this digital tattoo? Let's say it gets to that point, like how they did the C19, the jabby jab. What would you say they should do?
Man, what I did is I trusted in the Lord because I refused to get the jab. If I would have stayed in the profession I was doing, social work, right before COVID hit, I was working in a 136 bed facility, halfway house facility. But the Lord had me leave that job right before I left in February, and the COVID hit in March of 2020. Yeah. I would tell people, trust in the Lord. Either he's God or he ain't God. Because either all this, what's going to happen? Either you're going to find a job that's not going to require a jab, or we coming to an end. It's time to go home to see the Lord. So win-win. And if you're afraid to leave here and go home to see the Lord, you ain't really trusting and believing in him. It's going to be either he is God or he ain't. So it's like either he going to continue to provide for us because we stood and stood on him, stood firm in him, or he's a liar. He can't be both.
I say y'all better be getting ready right now, because it's going to get tougher and tougher and tougher, because the evil powers that be, that are in the government, that are in entertainment, that are, I always say, the folks in the background, the puppet masters. I always say, the folks in the background, them folks, they're not going to let up. They're not going to let up. So that's really it. But that's really all I have for tonight. Did you have any last words, Marjorie?
I would say we got to be like Joseph and be storing up for the famine.
Oh, yes.
Be ready.
Yes. Storing up physical food and spiritual food on the inside.
Amen. Amen.
Pray fast, be ready, be ready, be ready. Thank you so much for joining me, Marjorie. That's Marjorie with Purpose. I'll leave the link in the description. Thank you so much for joining me. And you guys, that's it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, select all notifications so you never miss a video. You all be blessed. And until next time. Bye-bye, Marjorie. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. All right, guys, that is it. We thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you so much for listening. And that is it. Again, like this video, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, select all notifications. Be blessed. And until next time.